Joining us already in progress. How's it going, folks? I am Wolflink0370, and we got a hammer to start things off. We had a Cadence Amari opening up. Welcome to the Link to Fast Daily Race here. And today we have a swordless standard mode seed, so no swords are in the pool. Looks like we have Blaine, Activoker, Ravis, 10, and Dataflet as our featured for today out of a field of 15 runners. I will be joined by Map Girl shortly, hopefully. Alright, so 4 of our runners are now leaving the escape stations with their hammer in tow. Looks like we did get a map check as well. Looks like we have pendants in Eastern and Hera with a 5-6 at Desert, actually. And I believe I'm now joined by Map Girl. How's it going?
Hey, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
My internet died right as I was about to hop up.
Well, it's a good thing I was able to come in and help you out at the last minute. Heck yeah, for emergency commentary team. Or something, I don't know.
Alright, let me get things reset up.
Haven't missed much. Cadence and Mario to start things off. They got the hammer and Zelda cell, and they are just now approaching Dark Crossroads with the small key in hand. And And Dark Cross has a heart container, and they also have another heart container here somewhere in Escape, so... If my estimation is correct, that means they have not found the map yet.
I'm not sure.
Because they found the small key, 2 heart containers, the case of Mario, and the hammer. I think that's everything. It's available. There's half magic. There's the map, yeah. And a red potion as well. Pretty good start. And this does mean the Sanctuary will have an item for our runners. To answer a question in chat about the Swordless thing now that we can explain it. Swordless, we have just straight up removed the swords in the item pool. The hammer will act as our sword for Ganon. And the hammer will also act as our medallion activator. And we've added some medallion symbols to Ice Palace in case to accommodate Bombo's Ice Palace as being potentially in logic. And right there we saw a green pile of 20 rupees. That would have been a sword if we had found one. According to chat, it looks like there was also another pile of 20 rupees in the escape signal. We missed that, of course. We were setting up relatively late. Second bottle. Looks to have a bee in it this time. Ammunition from the poultry. Oh, it was in Link's house? Definitely missed that then. And a heart container as well from the Lost Woods. Order Crab's giving a bit of money. Alright, so we're starting to see some divergence here. Blaine is heading to south side of Kakariko, looks like. Ack, meanwhile, is heading towards the eastern area. Maybe heading over to the bombshell over here. And Ravis and Dataput look to be heading into Kakariko proper. And yeah, Blaine definitely picking up those 50-50s on his way here to South Kakariko. And that's a gloved race game. And that's a stash of money for Ravis. $20 there. Blind side out, pays out with 50 rupees. A red rupee. 3 bombs. And another 20 rupees. And the green pendant is an Ice Palace. $10 arrows. 5 arrows and a blue mail for Dataplet, and also a piece of heart for Active Ochre. I am legitimately surprised I keep up all these checks. I'm getting used to this sort of thing. Alright, looks like Ack is going to be heading into Eastern Palace here. Meanwhile, the bottle merchant paying 100 for 300 looks like. Back of the well, heart piece. $10 arrows there. And yeah, looks like Gravia's audio is delayed there quite a bit. Oh well. I don't handle the setup. I don't think I can fix it. Getting some 10 arrows here. Looks like nothing has been in Eastern Palace, but we will get one of our first hints. And now Ravis with his blue mail. Big key and our third bottle for Blaine. And a hint for Activoker saying a unique item in Paradox Cave. Interesting find. Interesting find. That puts ideas in my head what it could be. Everyone blue mail, everyone with the glove. And that actually pretty much puts Ag on light support as well, folks. We gotta mention that. As Ak is struggling to find his way through the dark rooms. Does have the King of Samara to see if he needs to. And yes, Activoker does not have the gloves. Those are at the race game. Ak has avoided Kakariko. For now. But we're getting somewhat close to Dark World access for the rest of our runners. 3 volumes for Ak. Moving on. Looks like we're seeing the dam. First check didn't have anything important. Question in chat, do you need swag notes to fight Aga? Hammer does work, but the hammer hitbox is kind of finicky to land the reflecting shots. So, as I guess the right word is mimetic, as using the cane, the net on Aga is, it's actually a lot easier to fight Aghanim with the cane than it is the hammer, or the net rather, than it is the hammer. Alright, first look at Mini Molder Cave, as well as the Gina's Cave here. Gina has our flippers! And we know where our crystals more or less are, so we know that all the other Dark World dungeons that are question marks are required. There's our Moon Pearl as well. So those flippers are 100% required because Swamp is a crystal. We just don't know if it's a 5 or if it's one of our red crystals yet. And yeah, Silverless Hammer Ganon is a nightmare, to say the least. Getting a Silverless hit with a hammer is a 2-frame window, and good luck hitting it with the hammer's wonky hitbox. That's why even in the most insane of difficulties, a Sword of the Sea will always include the silver arrows. Because no one expects you to do hammer Silverless Ganon. I would even expect our runners to go to Ganon without the silvers, read the hint, and then leave to go get the silvers. that's how much I'm willing to do hammer Silverless cannon. That is to say, not at all. Alright, hobo check here in the meantime. 10 arrows. Datafoot is fake flippering, not having the flippers that were on Agina. I expect Actiboker to do the same. Yeah, second look at that Lake Highland Island, that's only 20 rupees. Alright, here's our first look at Waterfall Cave. Datafoot's setting up the reverse fake flipper in the meantime. 2 heart pieces. And with the Moon Pearl in hand, it's going to be in a water walk state now. And going to use that to walk over to Zora. But doesn't have enough money, so he's actually just going to check the legend go. So let's see what Axe sees on Zora Ledge. That is only 10 arrows. So Blaine can pick that up. Ravis can actually buy Zora's item. I think Dataflight can as well. Actually, is that a 7 by Blaine? 4 feet, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, everyone else can buy Zora. This item. Alright. So, Dark World is available for Dataflight. I expect to see it at some point. As to where they should go, I would say probably go to Village of Outcasts. I'm just theorizing here. Because I have to fill the air somehow. I can't think of talking about much else until we see the divergence. Alright, we're about to see Zora's check from Dataflight and Blaine. Ak is making the trip over to Kakariko now. And it's just some bombs on the Zora King today. Oh well. And Ravis will be the first to enter Dark World, and it looks like we'll be seeing Hype Cave here in just a few moments. And we can't get to Paradise yet, and our 5-6 is Skullwoods. The rest are all of the normal crystals. So no Fire Rod locked behind the Pyramid Fairy today. Ice Rod could be, though. That would be fun. Alright, Hype Cave, what do you got for us? 10 arrows to start things off. Blue Boomerang. Not bad. 3 bombs. 20 rupees. And another 20 rupees. Yeah, I'd call that a 2. I'd say that's a 2 out of 10 Hype Cave today. Boomerang is nice, but everything else was just garbage. Alright, so Ravis is entering Swamp Palace. Can't do it yet, doesn't have the flippers, doesn't have the hook shot, but there is a hint here. And Ravis is prioritizing information. The boots are in Skullwoods! That's amazing information for Ravis to have! That is literally the best hint for him to pick up. Now, the question is, are the boots fire locked in Skullwoods? Do you need the fire rod to get them? Or are they in the front? That is the question we need to ask now. Odds are it's in the front, but knowing the randomizer, they'll probably put it in the back when the fire rod's going to be like in, I don't know, deep mire or something. Ah, and Blaine did find the Titan's Myths. I just missed that. So that's full Dark World access now for Blaine. Doesn't have access to Dark Death Mountain, though. Still needs a hook shot for that. Or the mirror. But Blaine is riding in Catfish. And Ravis is immediately heading to Skullwoods to no one's surprise. Let's see if those boots are in a good location here. And I definitely picking up the cape. The bow is on Catfish. Wow, lots of good items being found left, and right here. Alright, Ravens, what is this, the boots? No, it's the map. And yeah, bow and Catfish, that would trip someone up. Flippers at Agina. Titans is on the pyramid. Blaine's got a lot of good things. I'd say the item advantage is in Blaine's favor, but Ravis knows the boots are in here somewhere. And who goes to Swamp Palace just to read the hint? Not many people. That I can at least think of. Bombos is here as well. That's logical access to Misery Mire. And small keys in the front. No big key in sight. Ladies and gentlemen, our boots are locked behind the fire rod. I suppose Bombos does count as fire, yes. We'll see about... Actually, with the Titan's Mitts and the Flippers available, Ice Palace is completely in logic, save for a niche scenario with the hook shot. But I'm sure all of our runners know how to bomb jump, so you can easily avoid that. Shield and Sea House in the meantime. Ack and Dataplay both about to get the Bombos medallion. Blaine is checking the brewery, which is the first check we haven't seen yet. Only a small amount of money there. To answer your question, chat, this is the daily race. This is a community race that is happening right now. We are featuring 4 of the runners of that race. Out in the total field is 15. Book of a door in Thieves Town to start things off there. That does open up Desert Palace. But we do need the flute at some point for Mire. Oh, and the silver arrows were just found too. Nice. A couple of good items to start things off. Back to Boger now joining the Shield Club at Sea House. And the Cane of Burna available as well. If I'm a half actually, that makes the blind fight admittedly pretty free. But that is also 3 of our 4 items here in Thieves Town already, so there's not much left in here. So we just saw Bumper Cave, but I just missed the check. Oh, that was Sankheart there at the treasure chest minigame. Nice find there for I can need the heal. Alright. Hint coming up here for Blaine. We know that this cannot be the boots hint, but maybe it's something else. Thanks, game. That's a good hint there. Yep. Alright, attic chest coming up here for Blaine, just the map, nothing major there. All our runners have converged in the Village of Outcasts area. But Blaine has that bow. I'm starting to think that maybe a dip in a Palace of Darkness is warranted here. Wouldn't be the first time, either. So, while we have a brief moment here before we get more items tracked for you, I may be the only commentator, but I'm not the only one helping us out. There is a sole tracker working behind the scenes getting all 4 of these feeds up to date, and that is, so shoutouts to them as well. And it just comes to mind, I don't actually know their Twitch name. Oh, that's... Oh yeah, it's the same thing. Raylan Tinker is the one tracking behind the scenes here. And incredibly busy. And Fire Rod! In the big chest? That's huge for Ravis. Yeah, that's fire. That's fire for Ravis and Blaine. But Ravis has the hint for the boots. So he'll go straight to Moth. This dungeon was loaded with useful items. Well, book may not be useful, it depends, but it has access to desert. Cane of Burna will be helpful in playing safe, having the safety here. Blind with a compass. Easy defeat for Blaine. Raven's now going through the blind fight. First crystal of the match. Grabbed by Blaine and now Ravis. And Blaine is immediately heading to Skull Woods. He doesn't know the boots are here, but Ravis does. There's Fire Rod for Ack. Alright, time for Ack's fight against blind. Take a look at what we know. We're missing the hook shot, we're missing the ice rod, and we're missing the flute and the mirror for our required items, I believe. I think I might be forgetting something. Bowfront is going to choose to fight them off first. And yeah, medallion's pending, of course. I should have mentioned that. For all we know, that one Bombos medallion could be what unlocks all three of our dungeons: Ice Palace, Mystery Mire, and Turtle Rock. But we won't know until we get over there to check. Alright, moth fight for Ravis. Excellent fire rod shots there. And the moth drops the boots. Okay, so free boots, essentially. That hit was more or less useless. It just incentivized Ravis to come finish off the moth sooner rather than later. But Blaine and Ravis now have their boots. And Ack will be following up relatively shortly. Or in short succession here. And Blaine will be spending a little bit more time here in Skullwoods, not knowing where the Bombos medallion is. We know it's in the pot prison. Also, that is a glorious bunny sprite there for his sprite. That is, I believe, Dan Hibiki. And a beautiful moth fight for Activoker, getting the boots as well. Looking at potential pedestal options, everything I mentioned, hookshot. Well, maybe not hookshot. But Ice Rod, one of our other medallions, the flute, the mirror, all those could still be on pedestal. We may still have a pedestal C here, folks. But hookshot cannot be there if mirror is, and vice versa, because you need one or the other to reach Tower Hera. So very unlikely that hookshot and mirror are on the ped right now until we get confirmation to where one of them are. Alright. Desert Palace check for Ravis. Another bit of information coming up here as well. Blue potion, that's our 4th bottle, and that means this dungeon was boots locked. You needed the boots. For the small key. Hint says the boots is on them. There are 2 boots hints. What? There are 2 boots hints. That's a rarity. I've never seen 2 different hints that tell you where the boots are. I think that second hint was on a boss. Was a location hint. And the other one, and the one we found earlier, the one that Ravis initially found in Swamp, that was the actual guaranteed boots hint. But that's an oddity. That is definitely an oddity. I've never seen that happen before. Digging game for Blaine. Red mail for Ravis on the desert ledge. And a piece of art from the ding game. That looks to be a really late item too. So Ravis now on red mail. Everyone else is on at least blue. Waiting about to pick up the cape. And yeah, no one's actually been up Death Mountain now that I think about it. But then again, there's not much on Death Mountain to do. We can check Spike Cave, we can check Spectacle Rock Cave, and get a hint there, and we can get the item from Old Man, and that's it. We need the mirror or the hookshot to get any sort of value out of the mountain. Alright, time for the Lambolas fight here for Ravis 10 as Actiboker is fast approaching that same boss. Wayne is on the warpath to Desert Palace as well. The map and the crystals there for Ravis. I didn't make note of what the second item was in here mentally. Oh well. Oh sure, at the bonk rocks for Dataplet. I wonder if Dataplet's going to do a retry here if he doesn't like what he gets. That would make sense. Alright, Aqua Lambola is defeated. Marshall being turned in by Dataplet. Flipper's being picked up by Ravis 10 in the meanwhile. Act bonking a couple times in the cactus. And only 3 bombs for the mushroom turn-in today. But Dataplet's going to take this opportunity to buy some blue potion. And Dataplet is choosing not to save the mushroom for fake powder. We'll see if anyone else decides to do that. Because if there's an important item up behind the powder, that could have been a huge sequence break that Dataplet could have taken advantage of. Oh, wow, I didn't even notice. We have our 5-6 already, so we have our Super Bomb item. Wow, we've actually not built that many hints either. So how fake powder works, folks, is you need to use the Kingdom Mario without magic, then cycle over to the mushroom item slot, which is also the powder, and for some reason it'll put on the powder animation and activate anything that's powder affected by powder. But you actually need something in that slot, be it the mushroom or the actual powder. So there's Titan's Mitts for Ravis as well. And everyone's been following the same, somewhat linear path, actually. Fairy today has arrows and 5 rupees. based on what we have, it's got to be Ice Palace. I have a strong feeling that it is Ice Palace here. Alright, Ravens is going Catfish. Makes perfect sense. Boots on a boss hit for Data Plate. Everyone has the boots at this point. Swamp is also a play, but they can more or less full clear Ice Palace with good bomb jump usage and execution, so I expect them to go to Ice before anything else. Maybe Piles of Darkness because, well, Ravis just picked up the bow, and who really minds lamp logic in this day and age, really? And yeah, Swamp without the mirror. Can't exactly do that now, can you? Alright, Act now with the bow, so Datafoot's the only one without that bow. Oh, we're getting an Aghanim check here. Hang on, folks. I think that was a red rupee, so Aghanim is dead. Oh, and Blaine going against Curve here. Gonna go up Death Mountain. Alright, Small can just start us off here in the bottom of, or rather the first chest of Palace of Darkness. Meanwhile, Act does pick up his mushroom. And I missed it, but the old man had the single arrow. That hit with a crystal for desert. And hey, there's the bug catching net. Just sitting right there at top of Spectacle Rock Cave. And some arrows in plain sight for the hint at Spectacle Rock. Now, I'm not sure if Ravens has checked the Dark Palace hint yet. If he does, he'll probably check it after he warps here. Oh my goodness, the flute was in Palace of Darkness. Ravens picking that up. Unique items and thieves down. And there's the mirror! It's the mirror in Spike Cave. Also, unique item in Thieves Town. All of them were unique. Good job, hint system. Good job. And yeah, mirror is flute locked. Or it could be lamp locked. We don't know where our lamp is. But it's more than likely the mirror at this point. Or the flute that is lamp. Bleh! It's more likely the flute is mirror locked. No, I'm getting it. Words are hard sometimes, folks. I try to say it's most likely the mirror is flute locked. Ether checked. Only 20 rupees. And Ravis is going straight to the boss. And yeah, while Flute wasn't in the dark, that's only one of two ways you can actually get up Death Mountain. The other one is just using the lamp and going through the cave like Wayne Sequence broke his way through. But one thing's for sure, the flute was definitely more accessible than our lamp. And we got a hint for Hera, a unique item in ice, it looks like. And once again, a shout out to our tracker, Raylan Tanker, who is holding on the fort. We now have, that's a name, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, helping him out now. Alright, with the fire rod in tow, Ack is going to do the tile room basement. Ravis, meanwhile, has come through the Dark Turtles and defeated Helmazar King. Helmazar King. I missed the item, though. Alright. Paradox Cave. Piece of art, Quake Medallion. That could be our unique item. Ice Rod, found by Blaine. Another unique item. Active thing in Death Warp. Hook shot in Paradox Cave. Blaine finding all the progression items. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're in no mode here. It depends on what our medallions are, but if neither of the two medallion dungeons requires ether, we're in no mode. Because we don't need the ether, because we have everything else. And map and some bombs firelocked to Misery Mire, good hit. That decentralizes Misery Mire as having some progression for Active Ochre. Because now he knows there's only one item available. Now, let's not count Blaine out yet. He may only be a flute from Gomo, but we don't know what our medallions are required for each of the dungeons yet. It could be ether for both, and we'll need to find ether. And yeah, green pile 20 is there for Blaine. Waldorf being fought on this side. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed ether required. We are not in Go mode just yet. We need to find the ether medallion somewhere in the world. in Hera, it is money on Moldorm. All right. Ravis has went through the dark maze there, got 300 rupees out of the big chest. Dataplet now beginning their trek through Palace of Darkness. And with that hookshot in tow, we are about to see our first look into Swamp Palace here. We have no hints to whether left side swamp is required or not. I expect, given Blaine is 2 items in go mode, he's not going to take a risk. We know one of them is not in here, it's in pod. But for all he knows, Ether could be in here. Or it could be an Ice Palace. That is also a valid point. We do have a unique item in Ice Palace as our hint. And we are running low on unique items, but it could just be our lamp. Mushroom Picture for Ravis. Powder is also an option for what could be inside of Ice Palace. I think they should go to check Ice Palace at some point. And we saw something red here at Aga at the Lumberjack Cave. And at this point, it can only be 20 rupees, so Aga's dead. Ped, though, given what we have, Ped might be dead. It's a 1 in 3 chance that Ped is dead. And I say that because... Oh, actually, no. Either could be on Ped for both of our pendant engines. I almost misspoke. Alright. Ravis is getting the flute online. Lane is going straight to the back of Swamp. Nothing has been found yet. Ravis is going to turn in the mushroom. Dataplet on his way to Helmsor King. Active has visited Paradise Cave and gotten the plethora of items in there, including the hookshot. Back of Swamp. Nothing of importance. Dataplet using the fire rod to light up the dark turtles here to finish them off. Smart play there. Taking it safe, making sure he stays alive to get through to Helmsor King. And Ravis, now with money, is going to check King Zora. Along with all the water checks up here. Meanwhile, we're seeing what Spiral Cave has for us, as we are about to see Argus from Blaine. Hey, how do you like your menu bosses, folks? They're tedious, but they're... And then, Swordless, they're a necessary evil, unfortunately. Officer King down for Dataplet in the meanwhile. Wayne is trying to go a little bit faster, trying to get 2 puffs at once. Gonna start opting for 1 puff at a time now. And it looks like what our last green pile of 20 race has been discovered on Helmsley King. Alright. The puffs are down. Wayne is getting set up here. Silver arrow to Argus. Down he goes. And Argus only has the compass. There are items on left. There's 2 items on left side swamp. One of them could just be the big key, but that is something I don't think Blaine should ignore at this stage. Meanwhile, we're seeing Isri Meyer. Meyer was Bombos. I did miss that. Thank you, chat, for pointing that out. Meyer shed doesn't have anything of importance. So if it's Ether on pedestal, which is fairly low odds, because it might just be an ice pass for all we know, it is only to enter Turtle Rock. And the second item in Meyer is dead. We know that's in the Firelock side. But I should point this out. Ravis has not been in Tower Hera yet, and that is where our information was, in the upper floors of Hera. So Ravis will do cutscene, but that could be a blessing in and of itself. Because Ravis, without having the knowledge that left side Meyer is dead, will be able to check the hint and Misery Meyer, and maybe that will tell him where Ether is. There's the food for Actaboker. There's the big key for Ravis. So Actaboker is an Ether medallion away from go mode. We don't know where Ether is, though. Small key for Ravis. They really want you to go to fight Vitrius here. Data plate in the Dark Maze. Blaine is entering Thousand Artists. He will soon have his flute and be in Ether from go mode, and he knows it. There's the bomb. There is the bombs that are on the right side, or the Firelock side of Misery Meyer. So, Cutscene Chest today has the map. Raven's making a sensible play and not checking that right away. Gotta check the other chest first. Since he has the big key, he might as well leave this chest for last. Does miss out on getting the information. And we're seeing the hammer yum here from Actaboker in the meanwhile. Well done. Ravis rushing to get to the end of this big chest bridge. Only a compass there. And inside this chest, we have the other item in Misery Meyer, a stash of rupees. So Ether's not in here. So the big advantage Blaine and Ack have is that first hint in Tower Hera. They know there's a unique in Ice Palace. They just haven't gone over there to check it yet. Which makes sense. Ice Palace is a pendant dungeon. So we'll see if any one of our runners decides to go to Ice Palace. We're closing in on the hour mark of this race. And for Swordless, this is actually pretty fast, I'll admit. I would personally be struggling to do all this combat they're doing. That went heading over to Meyer. Dark Maester Activoker. Taking a hit there from one of the Kodongos. Ravis is in the third and final room of Dark Mire. Just needs to hit this crystal switch and he can advance over to where Vitreous is. And Ravis is through the dark rooms. I believe he used his blue potion to tank up. And yeah, blink of a miss it. Here comes Vitreous, and Vitreous is rather allergic to silver. Case in point. Oh, a little bit slow there. Gonna have a lightning attack. But 2 silver arrows will knock down Vitreous. There's nothing here in the dungeon left. So gonna get the small key and move on. Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock are all that are left. Swamp Palace, I don't think I had anything of importance. Actually, wait, did Blaine skip Left Side Swamp? I just now realized. If he skipped it, then Ether's there. That could have been a huge detriment to him. Ooh, we'll see what happens there. Ravis, meanwhile, I think is thinking Ice Palace here. Or going up the mountain. And it looks like Dataflet has indeed toggled off the silver arrows. That is a feature you can have. And it makes sense to my mind because Dataflet doesn't want the lag from the particle effects happening until he's ready to use the silvers. So he has to keep it consciously in his mind to reactivate them for Vitreous. Ravis is on the mountain in the meanwhile. Blaine has the flute. Activoker gonna be fighting Helvelser King. All of our runners have the bow. The only items that our runners are missing are the items in Paradox Cave, which is the hook shot, the Quake Medallion, in the net from the top of Spectacle Rock. And I believe that's it. Mirror from Spike Cave, that's also something that is there. So, if Ravis skips Spike Cave, they are missing out on the mirror. Ah yes, the Ice Rose in Paradox, I forgot that, I think. Alright, Ravis is not going to miss the flute, or the mirror. Good. Dataflet is checking cutscene chest. We'll see if he checks the hint. Dataflet's going up to check the hint. It says, the bow is held with a grumpy fish. Well, that would have been helpful if we didn't already have the bow. And to answer a question in chat about the Dark Mountain. Dark Mountain is an isolated area. There is no way to actually get off the mountain without using the mirror or saving and quitting. Unless you're playing inverted, in which there is a way to get down the mountain. I think. Yeah, you just take the old man cave and go back the way you came. Back doing Swamp Palace. Raven's getting the unique kind of an Ice Palace hint. And Ravis is leaving Tower Hera. Wayne getting his heart container and his money from Meyer Shed. All right. Ravis not quite checking Hookshot Cage just yet, but is mirroring to check Paradox, and this will have his Ice Rod, his Hookshot, and his Quake Medallion. But he needs to find the Ether Medallion. But he will be caught up to Blaine and Active Ochre in terms of item clearing. But the one distinction to make here, no, everyone except for Dataplan has that hint for Ice Palace. No one has followed it. Ray was firing a few normal arrow shots before realizing it. Uh-oh. I just realized something, though. Dataplan needed some of those arrows. He's out. He has to do the rest of this fight legit. Hanging it with a potion. So question chat, who would want to do Ice Pen and Ice Palace anyway? Well, in this specific scenario, our runners have a hint that there's a unique item in Ice Palace, and they are missing one unique item, Ether Medallion. And even if it's not there, Ice Palace is actually quite valuable in terms of information gathering because of the 3 hint tiles in there. They may not be helpful at times, but maybe the hints will surprise you. Maybe it'll tell you outright where Ether is, if not in there immediately. And yeah, Ice Palace is also the green pendant, so Sahasra could have something. We don't actually know what he has. Oof! Dataplan taking a death! Meanwhile, we're seeing Argus being fought by Active Ochre. Ravis now has all of his items, except for Ether. Ack missing the silver shot, getting it on the second pass. Compass. Alright, Ack. Moment of truth for us here. Are you going to check Let's Light Swamp for us? Dataput is buying bombs. Oh no! Dataput's buying an arrow pack. Yeah, Dataplan was not going to Ice Palace here, folks. He was going to buy an arrow pack which refills his quiver. Good game knowledge there. He's going back to go fight Vitrius, but he's but he's stocking up on ammunition. Smart idea on his part. That is by far the easiest way to go get arrows in the seed. And Ack does ignore left side swamp as well. Ravis is now done with checking locations on Death Mountain. K for Ack the Boker. Ravis is heading over to Swamp Palace. Will he be the first one of our runners to do left side swamp? For those just tuning in, we do not have information that says left side swamp has nothing important. But we do have a map and compass already in our possession by the time we finish going to the back. So there are 2 items on left side swamp, one of which may be the big key. And left side swamp is a time sink if there's nothing important. I can understand people wanting to just go to the back and be done with swamp. But sometimes there's items there. And really, if you're 1 item away from go mode, and you don't know where it is, I would say check your one-off locations. Don't leave anything isolated. Ack doing the Smith chain. We'll see what the blacksmith turn-in is. I don't think Ack turned in his mushroom yet either, so we might see a fake powder as well. Pay 10 rupees to get 20 back. Bitchery is down for Blaine. And Ack is hammering these pegs one at a time because you cannot item dash through the pegs without a sword. You actually need the sword hitbox to make that work. Alright, Ravis. Where are you going here in Swamp? Datafoot is going to ice! First hit in ice. Graveyard Lich has nothing. Datafoot does have Vitreous down as well. And we're getting left side swamp from Ravis. One way or the other, we will know. Datafoot does not have the hook shot to kill these Pen Gators in one hit. Does have silvers though. First item in Ice Palace is 10 arrows. That is not a unique item. Oh, dead in a room, bad to finish Misery Mire. My mistake. 4 feeds and I'm doing solo calming here, folks. I'm going to miss something. Let's be real. Magic powder in the lunchbox. Stalfos cleared. Second hint. The swamp house base and golems are in western wing of swamp. Well, that just killed the height that Ravis was building up. At the Boker entering Misery Mire. Ravis is gonna go check the big chest here. Pingator bowling. That a flip? That looks to be a strike to me. Well done. Alright, last item check in Swamp House is 20 rupees. Okay. Blade and Knack are safe. They dodged a huge bullet there. Bombs. That is not a unique item. The third and final item of Ice Palace is the unique item that we are hinted at. We still have one more hint here in Ice Palace. We have a small key. Definitely bomb jumping. I do not remember if there was an item left in Armos Knights at this time. I want to say we found... I think we found at least 2 items in Eastern, but I missed the cannonball chest both times we saw it. Big key found for our data plant. Eyes are on him right now. Wayne is doing Smith Chain. Alright, folks, this is a real chance that if it's actually Lamp here, I can't think of anything else except the pedestal that our Ether's medallion could be. This could be a pedestal seed. Because our hints have covered everywhere else. Green Pendant is also a possibility. Or it's right there. Ladies and gentlemen, no, actually, no. Datapla's not in go mode. He needs to go to Death Mountain. But we are now in no mode. Wayne is going to be the first of our runners that would be in go mode to go get the Ether Medallion. So, based on what we know, I think the lamp's inside Turtle Rock. Which is always a hilarity when it's a late lamp like this. I mean, lamp could also be on Green Pendant, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Raven is actually checking a rarely used hint here. A place I call Dark Ice Rod. A unique item in a chest requiring a specialist to unlock. Actually, now that I think about it, did Dataput check the third hint in Ice Palace? I don't recall reading it. Okay, so Ravis did not read the third and final hint here, which could be telling him where his hookshot is. And yeah, this is why those Bombos tablets have been throughout Ice Palace here, folks. They allow us to use the hammer magic. Yeah, not only that Berry Room bomb jump makes perfect sense to me. It is one of the more difficult ones to pull off. Graveyard Ledge, or not Graveyard, Chuckboard Cave has a hard piece. Ravis now with a Smith Chain. So the one unique item hint that 3 of our runners avoided up until Blaine did Ice Palace ended up being the one to follow. And Dataput, I want to remind you folks, Dataput is the only one, I think, to not get the unique item at Ice Palace hint. He is the only one of our feature 4 to not get that hint. That hit was on the first floor of Hera, and I don't think he ever entered the Hera to begin with. I don't even think Dataput's been on the mountain at all. And we have seen several fake powders. Gravis is the second runner into Ice Palace. The big chest is his target in here. Today, this dungeon has for us the Ether Medallion. We are in a no mode state. There's the big key to check the big chest. Green pen to turn in, only a heart. Only a heart. Hookshot was one of our 3 unique items in Paradox Cave. We had a hint telling us to go over there. It also had our Ice Rod and our Quake Medallion, which was not needed to seed at all. Ironically, though, if Dataput did have Quake, that would actually also insta-kill the Pen Gators if they weren't jumping. Wayne not checking the third hint here in Ice. Even though he was right next to it. Cannibal Chest must have had the compass. Agnes avoiding Ice Palace like the plague. Despite being the one to clear Hera and get the hint that, hey, Ice Palace has a unique item. And that is Gomo for Blaine of 1 hour 24 and change, picking up the Ether Medallion in the big chest. They don't have a lamp. They don't care about the lamp. Alright, Armos Knight's falling for Actaboker. Can't have anything important at this point. It's just a piece of heart. At this point, we can speculate that Turtle Rock itself has the lamp before Laser Bridge. Could even be at Mimic Cave. Ravis is treating the last hint. It's a Pyramid Fairy hint. So, folks, I'm reading all of our hints right now. We have had nothing but good information. But I know there's a couple joke hints in the pool, so it's pretty safe to say that the Agate Tower hint and Turtle Rock are joke hints. And we have a shovel sighting here on Blaine's End. Could be in the dig spot. Could very well be in dig spot. Question, Chef, for what is the lamp needed? Logically,
you know, I may be better late than never, but did I hear that we got go mode going on in this place?
We do.
Oh, nice.
Thank you for joining me, Tony.
No problem, Wolf. Like I said, better late than never, so let's just clean this up, shall we?
Indeed.
Go ahead.
I was about to say that the lamp, while not execution-wise required for go mode, it is logically required because the logic does not expect you to do dark rooms.
If you've got the memory for it, I've always kind of been against that just for the sake of memory games, but I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, for those who can't, like me.
Yeah, it's... Darkroom navigation is an execution thing. That's what I was saying.
Exactly.
It's required by logic, but with good execution, you don't need to worry about it.
So are we looking at him running that dark room, or do we think we're going to be able to get him through, or is he going to be able to get through it, rather, without worrying about that?
Well, if you think about it, the dark room in Turtle Rock is fairly tame considering. It's literally just on the rails. If you know when and where to turn and hold your direction, it's pretty free, actually. Again, it's one of those execution things, but it's one of the easier dark rooms to learn, by far.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And who knows, maybe the life is just right here. Nope, just bombs.
Rip. Looks like we got Ravis about to enter Turtle Rock over there.
We do. And Data has not been to Death Mountain, which is where the rest of his go mode is. The Ice Rod's up there, the Hookshot's up there, the Mirror's up there, Quake is also up there.
Alright, so we should be expecting Ack in there as well shortly?
Yeah, Ether was in the big chest of Ice Palace, which, ironically, Actaboker, Point, and Ravis all had hits for Ice Palace. They all avoided Ice Palace like the plague. Battleflame went straight in and got the Ether for the Hellion first, and he was the only one to not get the hint.
I don't know, man. I've just always heard that I've always worked with Ice Palace being one of the more lucrative places in terms of what you can get in terms of hint and items. That it's like, if you know you don't have to avoid it, why bother?
We have a shield on Laser Bridge, by the way. Blaine missed a key.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt him. And it looks like Axe still needs to do Ice Palace from chat.
Yeah, that is where our Ether medallion is, like I mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, having a moment of CRS. That happens.
And yeah, for the most part, we know we got a lot of good information hits. We also had a pretty funny scenario here. We actually had 2 boots hits this seed.
I beg your pardon? One more time?
At Desert Palace, we had the hint that the boots are on a boss, and in Swamp Palace, we had the hint that said the boots are on Skull Woods.
Ooh.
The hint for Desert was after the fact, though, when we discovered it.
It's just pulling a me. Better late than never.
Yeah, the only 2 hits we haven't checked are Aghanism's Tower and Turtle Rock, which, at this point, they might as well be considered joke hints, because I think there has to be 2 joke hints out there somewhere. I know there should be at least 1 joke hint for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really have a C without at least getting trolled like that once. Or I suppose you can, but where's the fun in that? We've got Ravis taking care of the anti-fairies pretty easily with that powder. Not even bothering to pick them up. And there's a little small key for Blaine.
Yeah, Hogaboku is being one of the few enemies that can survive a silver arrowhead. I think it's the only normal enemy outside of maybe the Lionels. Whoa! Don't think I did see that. Act showing off at this point.
Just jumps over the hurdle with a little bonk jump.
That's actually a boots clip.
What is this icon? A little Santa elf? Someone's getting coal.
And I'm just now getting in here, folks. Yes, it is official. Actogre has indeed forfeited from the race.
That sucks. I mean, that's what you get, though.
So what Actogre did, folks, is that he did something called a boots clip, which is actually actually classified in terms of Link to the Past rules as a major glitch. An overall glitch, specifically. Those are not allowed in this rule set, so that is just more so an honor honor forfeit from Ack here. I'm not sure if he meant to do that, but it looks like he did it. It looks like he's continuing onward anyway. Like, this seed is just done. Well, for him.
Meanwhile, Blaine's trying to clean up Trinex over there. Just taking care nice and easy so he can go ahead and...
Oh yeah, guys, also, we don't have much time. Get your guesses in for the big key guessing game while we're here. 1 to 22. Tell us where you think that Gaddis Tower big key will be. And yeah, actually, this is actually a good segue here. With Active Ogre doing an overworld glitches, there is actually an overworld glitches tournament going on. So if you want to see more crazy stuff like that, what Act did, go check that out. That is going to be a fun watch.
Clearly he just got kind of confused as to which race he was actually in.
We'll see if he wants to chat with us here. Because, by all accounts, he should have the Ether Medallion. He just chose not to go into Pendant Ice Palace.
And there goes Blaine, getting his last crystal. Nice and easy. We still got plenty of chat. I'm seeing plenty of double digits. I'm always a troll and going for number 1, and it looks like my boy Gleemon's right by my side on that.
As far as I'm concerned, this seat has actually been fairly nice. I'm extending a bit of a middle-of-the-road one. I'm thinking maybe somewhere along the lines of 7 or 8. 8 today.
Alright. We'll see how it's actually feeling in this little segment.
I think Ack will finish the seed and we'll pull him in here for an interview when he finishes it.
Figure out if he just decided right then to break it or if he just wasn't thinking.
I think he's mentally done with the seed's nonsense.
Oh, there's the key right on the pillar.
Key on torch. That was essentially a free key, and those boots were required, so it makes sense.
Number 1 is the winner! Oh man, I feel so validated.
As far as another daily race, there is of course one tonight. It is a standard race, but we are not going to restream it to my knowledge. It looks like, yeah, it's a no restream race. So it will be done, but there will not be anyone featured here on Speed Gaming.
We got Ravis heading in, it looks like, to try next. Seeing if he can catch up in any way, shape, or form to Blaine. Somehow I doubt it, but I did see someone get tossed off by Moldorm not too long ago, so we'll see.
Yeah, now Axe is definitely showing off. To answer your question, Jeff, as far as I'm aware, there's no restream because we take a back burner to any major tournaments going on, and if so, there's no restream. It's most likely because we have a lot of tournaments going on at the 9 o'clock slot, so there's no Speed Gaming restream available to take our race. It's still gonna happen, but it just won't have a restream.
Alright, Ravis got his crystal, so he's about to try and race. I saw Data with getting the boss key for a tower, so still trying.
Ack went Hope Room first. Ack is going full right. I don't think Axe is gonna be boots clipping over to the left side. We have 3 classifications of the logic here in Link to the Past Randomizer. We have no major glitches. We have overworld glitches, and we have major glitches, which includes underworld glitches.
Wayne getting through torches easily.
The outfit is in Ice Palace.
Yeah, so much for getting bonked off on Moldorm on either of them. Ravis still has to hope for Blaine to mess up his Ganon fight if he wants to catch up with him.
Yeah, and the silvers, by the way, those were in these down the front. No one was missing them. So everyone has the the silvers. Alright, folks, it's now time for the Aga fight, and I expect
Geometry
yes,
Wars!
we have the cane being pulled out. Six reflected orange shots, and Aga 2 will fall. And as much as we like to call the swag net, that is actually useful in Swordless.
You've got to get those balls back at him somehow.
Well, you can use the hammer, but good luck hitting a very narrow hitbox with a hammer.
Exactly.
And with Aga 2 down, it is now time to fight the pig. Hammer in hand. It will be 12 thwacks upside Ganon's head per phase.
It's gonna feel like going to one of those kid arcades and having to use the hammer to bonk one of those toys.
Which is actually a good segue for phase 3, because it might as well be whack-a-mole, because Ganon's going to be teleporting around the room, and you have to hit him 4 times. And afterwards, it will be the final phase, the darkness technique. Keep the torches lit, bonk Ganon with the hammer to stun him, and then poke him in the chest a few times with those silver arrows.
And Ramus, honestly, he's not that far behind, so...
Datafoot is now in go mode.
There we go. We're having a little bonk trouble there.
Ak, even though he has forfeited, is still climbing the tower. So he's giving us a good show here on the restream end, if nothing else.
Next for Ganon.
Alright. Getting really close now.
Why, yes, we did find those arrows.
Alright. 1, 2, looks like. Didn't get the torch glitch, that's fine. That'll be a third one if he can get it.
Decides to shoot torch for good measure.
Was actually meant to aim up. That would have been a double, and that would have been GG. But nope, there it is.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your GG in the chat for Blaine, the first on our featured 4 to finish this seed. But is he the first runner to cross the finish line? He is actually not. He is second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, 28 seconds, getting a PB in this mode. The winner of this race overall was Killer App with a time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Oh, that is nice and close. That's what I love seeing.
A 30-second difference, and Blaine would have been in first. If he had gone to Ice Palace, as soon as he got the hint, he would have been in the lead here. But well done for him. We'll see if I can get him in here for an interview.
GG either way to both of those. And more Swagnet over here. Data is going ahead and entering Turtle Rock on his end.
Alright, Aga 2 for Ravis.
And there's a little bit more of a showing off on Axe end, though he did end up
Trying to hover. And yeah, this all started with Samaria as our starting weapon. But our hammer was in Zelda's cell, so that was a moot point.
Gets thrown off once again for his troubles.
It happens sometimes. It happens.
I think he's just trying to have fun at this point. He's like, you know what, I've already forfeited. Let's just go ahead and do what we can to show off and get through this.
For those just now tuning in, Activoker does not have the Ether Medallion, yet he has defeated Turtle Rock. He did an overworld glitch to get in, and immediately forfeited afterwards, but it's still continuing to play the seed. The Ether Medallion was in the big chest of Ice Palace. And the lamp was indeed in the shovel spot, as chat predicted. And where's Blaine in chat? Congratulations, sir. It all came down to Ice Palace. Ironically, Dataplet was the only one to not get the unique item in Ice Palace hit, and he went there first. And it turned out that was the correct play.
And now it looks like he's just hanging out on his start screen, his pause screen for a minute. Probably trying to figuring out what he's doing from here while Ravis has got into the next phase to Ganon.
Unfortunately, I can confirm that Dataplet has conceded as well. He is forfeited from the race.
Ah. Well, good show to him anyway.
Yep. So now we're just down to Ravis.
Come on, whack again and whack a pig.
And for those wondering what pedestal was, it looks like it was just a 1 or 2 rupee or a 5 rupee.
Ak is starting his
big.
Ganon. Yep.
Oh!
Oh! Come on, Raven. Yeah!
Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, get your GG in the chats now for Ravis 10. He was the second on a restring to finish, but is he third place? I'm happy to report that indeed, Ravis 10 is officially in third place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 53 seconds, getting a 6-minute improvement on their PB in this mode.
Good for him. Now, how many racers did we say were in this one?
A total of 15. We've had a few forfeits. 2 of which on stream, even. But yeah, we have seen all 4 of our future 4 go in. I'm pretty sure Ack will join us for an interview once he's done beating up the pig. And we'll go ahead and pull up Ravis 10 here and say hello to him. Ravis, GG, and congratulations on your 3rd place victory there. So, I have just one burning question in my head right now.
Go ahead.
You went into Hera and saw a unique item in the Ice Palace. Why did you not follow that hint right away?
Because I thought it's the lamp. I was sure it was the lamp. I was like, no, I'm not gonna go ice to the lamp. I had that so often, and yeah.
The one time it's not.
Yeah, it's always. But you know, I got the Dark Ice Rod Kevin. I was like, okay, hint on purple chest. Come on, just for the memes, let it be ether, please. And no, it wasn't.
Yeah. So it turns out, as you saw probably just now, the shovel in Turtle Rock led to the lamp at the dig spot.
Oh my god. I was like, okay,
And there's Activoker driving up on his end, but he forfeited. He did not go into Ice Palace.
So that's a fake Triforce he's holding up right there. Bad Santa.
So
yeah, he boots clipped into Turtle Rock.
So I got the ice rod and hookshot, and I was like, okay, we have 2 items guaranteed not in GT from the unique items. We have 5 left. Like it was shovel, It was lamp, ether, powder, and cape. Those were the only 5s, and I was like, okay, I think this is gonna be the lamp. So I want to go swamp. Just don't get baited in ice. And I was full game swamp. I was like, okay, then I gotta go into ice. But I'm so bad in finding my go mode item the recent weeks, so I'm taking all the hints. And then I got a second unique item hint, and I was like, okay, one of those two gotta be ether. And then I saw powder, and I was like, okay, this is weird. I hope this is in GT, so guess I'm gonna just go ice. I don't have too many great options. So, and then it was ether, and I was like, dang, should have gone here earlier, but you know, if it's
Yeah.
not, and I'm right to not going there, I was like, okay, perfect, and I might win the daily, but okay, whatever, it's okay.
You still got third place. Ironically, Dataplet was the one to go into Ice Palace first, and he was the only one not to go to Hera at all. In fact, I think he was the last person to check Death Mountain in period. But he did die to Vitreous, unfortunately.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And from what I can understand, based on what he said in IRC, that sort of just teetered him over the edge just enough that he was willing to forfeit.
It's unfortunate. Although I gotta say, we got all 4 bottles in this seat and silvers. I mean, it's sometimes you forget to buy bottles or something. I don't know what happened to him, or maybe he ran out of arrows. But usually, when you get silvers and all the stuff, you shouldn't have big problems.
So if I'm guessing right, now like I said, I came in a little bit late here. So if you had gone to Ice Palace when it had actually shown up, you might have been able to get a higher place.
I think I would have won the race, because let me see. So I ended up one of the 147.53, and first place. Congrats to Caleb and Wayne, by the way, who finished
30 seconds apart.
Yeah.
We see Activoker here in chat, and
like I would have
Activoker
gone on swamp. So yeah.
Yeah. So Activoker, like we said, he skipped Ice Palace, which had the big chest having the Ether Medallion. Chose to just boots clip over into Turtle Rock, immediately forfeited afterwards, but still continued to play the seed out. So, showing off a little bit. Also gave me an opportunity to plug the fact that that the community is having an overall Glitches tournament.
That was his plan all along, clearly.
It worked!
Good practice for him.
Yeah, for the most part, Blaine actually found everything else. But it turns out, at the same time, just as you were avoiding Ice Palace, so too was he.
Oh, I see. So who had the mirror first? That would be interesting to know.
Blaine did. Actually, Blaine and Ack went up the Death Mountain relatively early. Okay. They actually went up the mountain before they had the flute.
Interesting.
And Dataplay didn't go up until the very end, before conceding.
I mean, so I was like Craigasm in the mid game when I found like mids on Pyramid into bow and catfish, flute and in Palace of Darkness. I was like, whoa, hang on, I have to track seed. Please give me some time. Got too many items.
And another one.
Yeah.
The scene was fairly loaded, front-loaded with all the good items here.
Well, I mean, I got the early boots and the first boots in. There were two again in the seat, in Swamp. I was like, okay, let's go, just directly Skullwoods after Hypecap and checking the hand. So, and then see, okay, boots are on Morphula or in the chest. Getting the Fire Rod and Thief's Stone was obviously then going back for the boots. And yeah, I mean, I didn't check things like Stumpy, Ice Rod Cave.
Stumpy had the cape.
Oh, interesting. If I had that, I think I would have gone into ice. Maybe, because then one shot's less.
With all the hints you checked for us, Ravis, we never saw Agatar and Turtle Rock, but based on the fact that none of the other hints were joke hints, I can only assume that those other two were the two joke hints in this seed.
So Hera seconded?
second hint was what told you what was Firelocked in Mire.
Okay.
And I will say this much: this actually was a unique seed in the sense that because I've never seen 2 boots hits in a seed before that were different.
I had to hammer the second one.
We had the boots are on a boss, and we had boots in Skullwoods.
Yep.
I've never seen that before. That is just amazing. And despite this being a swordless seed, it was actually, if it wasn't a swordless flag, or the swordless thing was not a part of it, you would have had Master Sword by the time you left Sanctuary.
Yeah. That was amazing. I was like, oh man. Someone wrote in IRC like, good luck finding. Oh, wasn't it Fear Agent? I think who said like, good luck finding the swords in the seed, and then you open the first chest and get a 20 rupee instead of a sword. You're like, dude, why is this swordless if you don't want to have it? Like, that's okay.
But yeah, any final thoughts on the seed from you, Ravis? It seems that we're not going to get interviews from anyone else.
Well, it's always amusing when you get a boots hit next to the desert torch and it's boots luck. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that was actually pretty hilarious, especially when it was the second boots hit after you already grabbed the boots.
Yep.
Like, your reaction to that was pretty hilarious.
Also, thanks for commentary, all the good stuff. You know, it's the same drill as always, but you can't say it often enough. Cool community, cool guys. Everybody's doing this voluntarily. I like it. Also,
Yeah,
thanks to chat.
I will admit, I was actually having... I was barely keeping up, having tried all 4 feats by myself, but then R came in like the last 10 minutes to help me out with the end game there.
Just here to help clean up, like I said.
Yeah,
Also,
see, that's why the community is so great. If someone needs help, like there's always someone who's willing to help you.
I mean, I joined this race 3 minutes late to do commentary. Like, I hopped in on the emergency call for this. But yeah, GGG Ravis 10, as well as get your GGG in chat for Blaine, Active Ogre, and Data Play, putting on strong showings list for today. You have all 4 of them a follow, as well as my Tony, our 2 trackers, Raylan Taylor, and Mr. Scrum Ninja Tuna. I'm just gonna say the full name there. Also, while you're at it, make sure to give Speed Gaming 2-6 a follow as well, so you don't miss not just Link to the Past action, but all of the tournaments hosted by Speed Gaming. There's a lot. There's the Overworld Glitches tournament. I believe All Wars No Sword is wrapping up. There's still a few extra tournaments left for races left of the Overworld Glitch. No, not Overworld Glitches. The Spoiler Log tournament that's going on. And there's, of course, non-Zelda content as well.
Yeah, and just piggyback on what Ravis said, as someone relatively new to the community, it's been honestly a joy watching, talking, chatting, tracking, and even belatedly commentating. So thank you for having me, and thank you, chat, for having us.
Yes, and with that all said and done, folks, so from all of us here at Link to the Past Randomizer, I have been Wolfling0370, and we just see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good day, everyone!